This is a free download from the BBC. For more information, go to bbc.co.uk/podcasts.
Hello and welcome to the iainlee podcast, hosted by me, Catherine Boyle, of the news. It's my great pleasure to be with you.
Sorry, you're not doing the podcast thing, are you?
Well, I think you'll find it's my gig.
Well, yeah, I think you'll find if you read this letter from the head of the BBC...
Oh.
Yep. And that bit there... Not that bit, that's...
Compel me to leave the building.
Yes, that's correct, yes.
Harsh.
Yep, so basically, jog on, love.
Okay.
Ta-ta.
Right, well.
Bye!
Bang goes the quality control.
What an idiot. Hello, dear listener, this is Iain Lee. Thank you for downloading my podcast. Coming up this week, I argue with a man about a train. It's a big gamble, isn't it, David?
You have to sometimes take gambles in life.
With £250,000 of taxpayers' money?
Yes.
I make a serious announcement.
Perhaps you should start wearing button-up trousers.
Maybe I should start wearing pants.
Do you not? Oh, you don't.
And I ride a tandem. I got it! Go! Pedal!
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
This week we got talking about SheWees. What they are little plastic devices that clip over a lady's... and it helps them do a wee-wee while standing up. Well, it turns out that two members of my team, one who's quite sensible and posh, own SheWees. Well, it certainly needed to be talked about on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Can I just say, if you are just tuning into the programme, I have been reporting on drink driving and the Bilderberg conference this morning already. I'm a serious BBC reporter, but you gave me this challenge. I have been asking women about SheWees, yes, SheWees, and this is what happened.
Madam, this is the big question of the day. This is a serious question. There is my badge. I'm from the BBC. Have you got a SheWee?
No, I haven't.
Why haven't you got a SheWee?
Because I don't need to stand up when I wee. Because I haven't got a willy.
And what do you think about people that own these devices?
Very strange. Yeah.
Disgusting, maybe?
Yes. Yeah. Why do you need to stand up and wee?
Giving women a bad name? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Sue, this is a very personal question. Have you got a SheWee?
No.
Do you know what a SheWee is?
No.
It's a device which enables ladies to go to the toilet standing up. So now you know what it is. Would you want one?
No.
Now, Sophie, you haven't got one of these SheWees, but you know people that are buying them for festivals. Is this right?
Yep, I do. They're meant to make it a lot easier for you to sort of go to the toilet in a bush, which is ideal for a festival, because there's not always toilets around. If you don't want to queue up, you can just sort of go behind the toilet and...
Disgusting.
I know.
But you haven't got one yourself?
No, I haven't got one myself, I'm afraid.
Haven't been tempted to buy one just yet?
No, not just yet, but I'll go to a lot of festivals, so maybe I might be tempted, because it might be quite a good idea for it.
The name of the lady, Justin, who invented the SheWee, I have just been told, get this, right? Samantha Fountain.
Oh, that's clever.
Isn't that good?
There was somebody that I knew once who worked in a post office with the surname of Stamp. There could be a phone-in for you.
No.
No?
No.
I mean, you wouldn't get this on Heart, would you? There's
a reason you wouldn't get that on Heart.
Yeah, better music mix, yeah. Just saying.
It was going really well, Justin, and then you went for the...
Sucker punch.
Well, you went for the appropriate names thing. Oh, I know a butcher called Tony Lamb.
Yeah.
And there's a bus driver called Steve Buss.
There's a bloke who works down a pub called John Beer.
Is there?
Apparently so.
Oh, nice one.
Somewhere.
Luann's in Flitwick. Morning, Luann.
Morning, Ian.
Have you ever used a SheWee?
Not quite.
Not quite. What does that mean?
I can't believe I'm about to admit this on the radio. I actually used my daughter's potty in the car once. I was on the way to, we were going on holiday, and we decided to take the back route instead of the motorway, because I'm not a particularly great motorway driver, especially with kids screaming in the car.
Yes.
And we'd been driving for miles, and I was getting more and more uncomfortable as the journey was going on. And I phoned my mum and I said, look, I'm going to have to stop somewhere because I cannot drive anymore. So we spotted a lay-by, and she said, well, just go and squat. And I said, no, I can't do that because I just can't do that.
Yeah.
And so I kind of got my daughter's potty, positioned it on the driver's seat, which is quite a feat in itself, trying to get underneath the steering wheel, trying to get your trousers down.
You weren't driving at the time, were you?
No.
Okay, that's
in the labour.
Okay, right. Just checking. Yeah.
Well, just as I'd kind of got to that position, a lorry pulled up.
Oh no.
Beside the car and saw everything. I've never been more mortified in my whole life. My mum was absolutely killing herself with laughter in the car. I've never seen her laugh so much. I thought she was going to keel over and have a heart attack.
Was she in the car with you?
No, she was in the car in front.
Okay.
But she saw it all kind of... She saw this lorry pulling up behind us.
Yeah.
And she could see exactly what was going to happen. And this guy had this front row view.
Oh, dear. What a front row.
So actually having a SheWee then probably would have been a little bit more discreet than this great big pink potty sitting on the front seat of the car. So
I once had to almost did a similar thing, Luann. I was stuck in such bad traffic on the North Circular around London, and I was so desperate for a wee. It was that kind of thing where I'm sweating and I'm actually in pain, and I thought I'm in trouble. And what I had was one of those big 1 litre bottles of water, except it was a third full, so there was water in it, right? So I had to make the decision, do I drink this water and make the situation worse, but then it gives me something to go in? I did. I drank the water, so I'm even fuller, and I'm in traffic and I'm driving, right, and it's moving very slowly, and I think I can say this on breakfast radio.
Come on, I have. I've just admitted.
I can say this carefully, OK? I put a coat over my lap, I undid my trousers, I assumed the position, OK? It was everything was teed up, ready to go, and then just at that minute, there was a break in the traffic, and I could pull over, and I pulled over, I parked illegally, I managed to jump out and go behind a bush. But everything was in position for a takeoff.
But the thing is, though, is that you've got a little bit more kind of dignified way of going.
Well, yeah.
You know, you can hide it a little bit, whereas I couldn't.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is iainlee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
It was announced this week that Birds of a Feather is returning after 15 years' absence. This time on... Hey, Justin, you're right. I'm just...
to read the scripts for the podcast?
Sorry?
Catherine told me to come in and read the scripts.
No, that's a mistake. I'm doing it.
Sure?
Yeah, I'm doing it this week,
Well,
Justin.
I thought it was me.
No, it's if you.
I thought it was friends.
That's pushing it a bit. I'm doing it this week, so it's very kind of you.
Really?
But you go off and look at your hits from 1967 for that show you do on a Sunday.
Last chance.
Thank you very much. Cheers, Just.
Thanks.
You can go now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bye.
Okay. But Birds of a Feather is returning after 15 years. Why would anyone want to watch that tosh? There was something like, I may have got this wrong, 150 episodes of Birds of a Feather. Don't people realise it was rubbish? It wasn't funny. You had Leslie Joseph playing... Well, she was the old tarty one, wasn't she? What was her... I don't even remember her name. Doreen or something? Noreen. Nolan. What was it? Stephen Nolan. What was her name?
Dorian.
That was it. Dorian. Thank you. That's producer Tara there. Were you a fan of it, producer Tara? Did you enjoy the Birds of a Feather? Was it your thing that you used to watch?
I used to watch it a little bit, because there was nothing else on.
Oh, see, that's a sad... Why don't you turn the TV off and go and read a book, or go and make love, or go for a walk in the countryside?
I was living at home with my mum and dad at the time.
That would have
gone down to...
That would have certainly... just telling this off, Mum, we're going to... No, that would have been awkward. But it wasn't funny, though, was it?
There were bits of it that were funny. I used to quite like it when Dorian came through the kitchen door wearing something ridiculous. Bit of lycra with her hair heavily permed.
I'm learning so much about you. One, that you own a SheWee, and you look quite respectable. Two, that you found Birds of a Feather funny. Disappointed on both counts.
It changed, though, when the men came out of prison. They had to stay in prison.
You see, that's the thing. They jumped the shark, I believe, is the phrase. Why would anyone... Birds of a Feather, will be coming back. It'll be on ITV. Birds of a Feather. OK, let's go through the list of unfunny sitcoms, shall we? Adam Glynn can wait for this. Birds of a Feather. Keeping Up Appearances. Hello? Are you serious? And two, I always like to throw into the mix. 40 Towers and Del Boy, Only Fools and Horses. Rubbish. You plonker, Rodney. Sybil! Manuel! Ah! Utter tosh.
On FM, AM, online and digital radio.
This is iainlee.
On BBC Three Counties Radio.
The cost of Aylesbury Vale District Council fighting the high-speed rail link HS2 could reach £250,000 if councillors approve an increased spending plan. Well, to date, the council spent £150,000 challenging the scheme, but in July they'll decide on whether to spend a further £100,000. What do you think about this? Is this a good way to spend money? 08459 455 555. David Thompson is from Aylesbury Vale District Council. He joins me now. David, but we hear big numbers like 150 grand being spent to date. Where has that money gone?
Good morning to you. Excuse me. The money has already been spent on technical experts, which are engaged by the 51 group, which is a group of councillors up and down the line opposed to this project. The example for work that has been done is alternative proposals that would help meet the extra capacity on the existing rail network. The government says is required. This alternative is known as the optimised alternative, which we believe the government has not adequately considered. The other half of the funding has been used to challenge the government's proposals through the High Court and the Court of Appeal.
What are you hoping to achieve with all this? What are you hoping to achieve out of this, David?
Well, what we're hoping to achieve is to stop this project.
It's not going to happen, is it?
I don't believe that to be the case. I think there are very many issues, costs associated with this project that are still unknown.
Do you seriously think, David, that by spending this money, you can actually stop HS2 happening? Surely the best you can do is just postpone it slightly.
I think that's going to be one of the things that we're looking to do, but the long-term aim you have to have a goal, and the long-term aim, obviously, is to stop this. There's no business case. The business case for this project doesn't stack up. There's a growing body of opinion, even amongst MPs now, who accept that this is the case. And also the environmental case is also now subject to a lot of questions.
What's this extra £100,000 going to allow you to do?
The extra £100,000 is not going to be used on the Court of Appeal, not the Court of Appeal, but yes, on the fight of the appeal that we have for the judicial review that we were rejected on. The next stage is about negotiating and what's called petitioning. This is a hybrid bill, and the next stage of the bill is to petition. Basically, so
you're going to be negotiating?
Well,
over HS2?
No, you don't negotiate over HS2.
So who are you negotiating with?
If, as you said, sorry to cut across you there, if, as you said, this project does go ahead, and I believe there are a lot of ifs still to be, I don't believe that will be the final outcome of this, but should it go ahead, the next stage of this hybrid bill is what's called negotiating and petitioning. Petitioning is now the opportunity we have to put forward the mitigation should the government still persist in going ahead. So
let me get this right. So you spent £150,000 in an attempt to stop HS2 happening.
Sorry, can I just contradict you there? We are still spending we have spent £150,000 to still try and stop this.
Yes, that's what I just said. That's not a contradiction. That's backing me up. You intend to spend another £100,000 if your initial bid to stop HS2 going through doesn't work, and that £100,000 is negotiations with ways to make HS2 slightly better. Is that correct?
No, it's not to make HS2 slightly better. I suppose if you.
What's it for then, David?
It's not to make HS2 better. It's the mitigation for our residents that they have. This is the one opportunity we as a local authority and the residents have.
So the £100,000 isn't to stop HS2 being built?
No, not at all.
So the part of you does believe that you can't stop HS2.
No, I don't believe that.
Then why are you spending... David, you're contradicting yourself.
Well,
if you let me... No, I want to clarify this because you're going... Okay, you can speak in a second. I want to clarify this because we're going around slightly in circles. If you believe that you can stop HS2 happening, why would you spend £100,000 to renegotiate HS2?
We're not renegotiating HS2.
What are you renegotiating, David? I'm confused.
Well, if you let me explain...
Please do.
What we are doing is we're going to be going petitioning, and this is, as I said, the one opportunity...
You mentioned the word negotiate. Who are you negotiating with, and what about?
We will be negotiating the mitigation factors required.
What does that mean in English?
Improve the line so that the residents are least affected by this project should it go ahead.
So you will be negotiating if HS2 goes ahead. That's what this £100,000 is being spent on?
That would be the case.
Apologies. I thought that's what I said. Perhaps I didn't make it clear enough. So you are throwing...
I'm making it clear to your listeners, and I just want to make that point very,
I don't know if you are, but so you are kind of admitting defeat then. If you're going to throw another £100,000 to negotiate HS2, you are kind of admitting that the £150,000 to stop HS2 was wasted money.
I see this as an insurance policy. You take out insurance for when something happens that is going to be catastrophic or whatever it might be to the family or yourself. This is exactly the same. I see this as an investment that we actually are spending this money to ensure that we mitigate should this line go forward. I think it's quite a sensible thing to do.
So you're not very confident you can stop HS2?
Sorry?
You're not very confident you can stop HS2 then?
I'm absolutely confident it'll be stopped.
Then why would you spend £100,000? If you're confident you can stop it through your initial act, why would you then spend another £100,000?
We have to go through the process, because if we don't go through this process, this is the government's-led process. We have to go through this process. If we don't put anything in, we are basically admitting defeat, that it is a fait accompli. Now, yes, it could be. I don't believe it to be a fait accompli. I hear what you're saying. It is a contradiction in terms. Yes, it seems to be a contradiction in terms. I'm sure many listeners will feel it is a contradiction in terms. But as I said, it's an insurance policy. Should it go forward, that this is the one and only opportunity we have under the hybrid bill. This is the one opportunity. Us, residents of the Vale, and everybody else up and down the line, have an opportunity of having their say to mitigate against this daft proposal.
OK, so just to clarify before we move on, you're not completely confident that you can stop the HS2 proposal?
There's always got to be an element of doubt. We're dealing with people who... This is a hybrid bill. This is the first time ever in the history
But so you're not
of the country.
completely confident that you can stop the HS2?
In my heart of hearts, I am confident. As I said, we have an insurance policy.
Prepared to throw another £100,000. At what point... How much do you spend on this, David, before you admit defeat?
I think that very much comes back from... will come about... We'll have to make that decision when we get the results from the appeal. And the appeal is expected to come back in July and August.
So you could spend potentially £250,000 and possibly more than that?
I think we would obviously have to go back and rethink should the government decide that this is actually going ahead and we lose in the Court of Appeal. I believe that the Court of Appeal, that the appeal that we are going forward with other authorities and also other bodies has a lot of merit, and therefore it'll have to be discussed.
If you spend all of this money, £250,000 plus, and it makes no difference whatsoever, how do you think the locals will feel at having their money wasted?
Probably not very happy, but I believe it is money well spent. We have to try and do what's best for our residents, so that we excuse me, that we have so we achieve the best long-term benefit for our communities and the local environment.
£250,000 that could fix potholes. That could do so many things in a local community, and you could just be throwing it away.
I'm very glad you mentioned that, because quite frankly, we all know that. I mean, the 51M stands for £51 million for each parliamentary constituency up and down the length of the UK. Now, you imagine Bucks County Council have said that they need in the order of between 130 and 150 million to bring the roads back to some decent level of maintenance. Now, if we have 5 parliamentary constituencies in Bucks, not including the 2 in Milton Keynes. That's 7 5s, 35 million, 350 million. Well, a lot of that money could go towards sorting out the problem.
Well, also, back to the question, which you seem to have ignored or maybe didn't hear. The £250,000 plus that you're spending could be used to fix roads, could be used to make local communities better, and you could be throwing it away.
Yes, there is that opportunity. There is that possibility. I have to accept that. But I believe it's going to be
a big gamble, isn't it?
Well spent in beating this.
It's a big gamble, isn't it, David?
You have to sometimes take gambles in life.
With £250,000 of taxpayers' money?
Yes.
You're prepared to gamble that?
I'm prepared to gamble that, because I believe that the odds are stacked in favour of us winning. But as I said, we need to have that insurance policy should we not win.
And if you don't win, David, and the money has been chucked behind a bush, would you like to come on air and apologise to the taxpayers?
I don't think I need to apologise. I think we're doing our best, as I said earlier, for the long-term benefit of our communities and local environment. And that means we have to spend the £100,000 as well, should it go ahead, to make sure the mitigation is right. Because, after all, the west side of Aylesbury, outside of the London urban areas, is probably the most area that's going to be affected by this railway line. It's going to run within 1 to 1.5 miles of that area.
David, we have to end it there. Thank you very much. I hope you feel you got your point across. David Thompson from Aylesbury Vale District Council. £250,000 plus. They've spent 150 grand. Going to probably spend another 100. Could spend more. Well, is that good value for money? I suspect, and what do I know? I suspect the best they can hope for is to delay things slightly, which would then cost all of us even more money. It's not going to stop it.
This is iainlee
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hey, you listen. Do you want me to talk for a bit? Because you're puffing, you're huffing.
I'm a little out of breath.
I saw, as I was doing the news, I saw you rushing past that window,
yes,
into the studio next door, where no doubt you rollicked my team, rightfully so.
No, I wouldn't rollick your team. They're lovely. In fact, they helped me out. If it hadn't been for your team printing my paper, I wouldn't be here now.
Well, you have permission to rollick them any time you want.
Oh,
you do. You have. You do. You have a hall pass, I believe it's called.
Oh, right.
A hall pass to rock them whenever you want.
Right.
Yeah, I just think
just for anything.
Why not?
Oh, okay.
We're the talent. Don't you forget it, girls. There we go. Look at that. Not even paying attention. Not even paying attention. Unbelievable. How rude. How rude. Anyway, it's lovely to see you. Looking very, very smart as always.
Thanks very much. It's going to be a summery day today.
Is it? I got no idea what the weather's like.
Yes, it's looking rather nice out there. A little toasty. Yay. I think it might be a day for you going home and sunbathing your lallies.
What are lallies?
Your legs.
Oh, are they?
Yes.
I thought they were my...
No.
Oh, good. I would never wouldn't sunbathe those.
Sunbathe those.
I caught those in a zip yesterday. It really is. It really is. It's that you have to make the decision of when you... Because you have to just yank that zip back down, don't you?
Oh.
Yeah.
It's never happened to me.
Has it not?
No.
It happens to me all the time. Yeah, all constantly getting my lallies, what I think lallies are, not what you think, caught in the old zippetage. It does. Wowzers.
Really?
Yes.
Perhaps you should start wearing button-up trousers.
Maybe I should start wearing pants.
That might be it. Do you not? Oh, you don't. Do you? Oh, how awful.
Thank you very much indeed. Well, it was very exciting this week when we found out that Miss England came from Beds, Herts or Bucks and will be representing us in the Miss World competition. Well, I spoke to Justin Dealey, who was a big fan...
I've said I can come in and help you with the podcast or something.
Do you mean the podcast, Ollie?
Oh, I think the podcast, whatever
no,
it is.
Kath has misled you, my love. If you'd like to go back out and do the cleaning out in the hallway...
I'll come back later if you need me.
No, I actually won't need you. That's a guarantee. Thank you very much, Ollie. Anyway... Justin Dealey was a big fan of Miss World and thought it was just a bit of harmless fun. I completely disagreed with him.
It's the lowest of the low. It's very, very tacky, but that's why we love it. Look at the TV shows that we like. Now, we both love that TV show filmed in Luton, Splash. Very, very tacky, but equally as wonderful to watch.
No, hang on a second, because in Splash, we are seeing people learn a skill. They're learning something. They're learning how to dive. With Miss World, and I'm not in any way denigrating Miss Hazelwood, who's going to represent us at all.
Hesselwood, actually. Hesselwood, if you don't mind.
Thank you very much indeed. Well, you've done your research.
I have, yeah.
You never normally. Why have you researched this story so thoroughly?
Just for the purpose of the BBC, you know.
For Miss World, all it is hot girls...
Yeah.
In dresses, or in bikinis, always in a sash.
Yeah.
And also, the girls, Miss Hazelwood is very attractive, but quite often you see better-looking women at bus stops.
That is very, very true. But, you know, when it comes to these competitions, surely they learn how to carry themselves. And I find it very suspicious, actually, that we are surrounded by women at BBC Three Counties Radio. And when this came up yesterday, not one person said, oh, should we have her in the studio? I'm just a little bit suspicious. Some women find these competitions very, very offensive. And I don't know why. I don't know why that is.
Are you suggesting that the women who work here, who may or may not be beautiful, it doesn't matter because they do blooming good work, almost as good as some of the men that work here?
Exactly, yes.
Are you suggesting that they may be... they're jealous? What point are you making, Dealey?
If this would have been a man, this person would have been booked to come in the studio today, but yesterday, when it was suggested about her being from Hertfordshire, no, let's just do it on the phone, shall we? No. I said, why don't we get her in the studio, we can take a photograph with Iain, we can put it on Facebook, it's a big international story, this. No. Let's just do it on the phone. No, let's get her in the studio.
You really are... Justin, with your smokes and your attitudes to women, you really are a sexist pig, aren't you?
No, not at all. I think you're talking about yourself there. However, I have been on the streets of Hertfordshire. I've been asking the ladies, are beauty pageants outdated?
The very fact that you said, I've been asking the ladies.
Come on.
that would back up the statement I just made.
I have been asking women on the streets of Hertfordshire, are beauty pageants outdated and a disgrace to women? And here's what they had to say.
Yes, I think they are.
Tell us why?
I think it's because there's more to people than just how they look and how they're dressed. And I don't think it's right to judge someone just on appearance.
So when you see these photographs in our newspapers, does that offend you?
Do we really need to have to see people who make other women feel inferior, maybe?
They're not a disgrace, they're just very dated. From the 70s and 80s, I think.
Yeah.
I don't like them, personally.
So you think we should move on? Time to scrap them all?
Something different, something to do with, I don't know, something bigger and better. Not all about beauty, because everybody's beautiful. Doesn't matter, does it?
So these pageants just stuck in the past?
They are very stuck in the past. Very, very. I remember pictures from the 50s. Yeah. Like my mum showed me. And even then, it's a bit like, oh, my God. Yeah. But now, no. I think you can find beauty in other ways.
I honestly think there's very pretty girls and a lot more better, stunning people than that.
So you think it is a bit outdated, then?
Yes, very.
Just outdated. I wouldn't say disgraced.
A little bit. But it doesn't bother me, and it never has when I was younger. But I mean, if they've got it, flaunt it. As long as you don't expose yourself too much. But it doesn't bother me. I don't watch it.
How does it further the cause for women, Justin? What does it achieve, apart from going, hey, if you're really, really slim and quite good-looking, then you can wear a crown?
Well, it gives you recognition, surely.
For what?
Well, for being somebody who holds themselves well, who's beautiful. You could say that about any model. You could say, well, why is somebody, if you walk down into your local high street, you've got all the shops there, all the major brands, I don't know, Marks and Spencer's, H&M, you could say to somebody, well, why is that person in the shop window? What are they getting from that? Because there are better-looking girls at the bus stop. You could have the same argument for that, surely.
I like big butts, and I cannot lie. I think I'm quoting Cat Stevens from 1972 there. I like shapely women. These aren't real women that we're seeing in Miss World, Justin.
Why are they not real women?
Well,
I'm looking at the other photographs here, and she's a very curvy lady. She's not. She's not. She's not.
She's not curvy.
No, I'm looking at other photographs.
I'm actually going to fall out with you this morning.
Why?
Because she's not curvy. She's not a real woman.
We're not talking about somebody who's a size 0, who young children will look at and say, "Oh, she's so skinny. I want to be like that." She's not incredibly skinny. She's an attractive woman.
She is an attractive. Let's not focus on curvy. Let's generalise this.
Yeah.
But I think you're outdated, Justin, and I think this morning that more people are going to phone in and support me than you. 08459 455 555.
We shall see.
We shall see. And at the end of the show, we'll decide who's right.
In the car park, 9 o'clock.
Sweet. On The Breakfast Show, I bring you quirky stories and breaking news. In fact, I have the power to interrupt the news, just because I can.
And in rugby union, the British and Irish Lions play their final warm-up match ahead of Saturday's first test against Australia at 10:30 this morning. They're taking on the Brumbies in Canberra, in what wing Shane Williams says will be the toughest match of the tour so far.
Of course it's going to be difficult, but with professional rugby players, we've all got to make sure that we're fully prepared mentally for this game, because, we don't want to let anybody down. We want to go out there and give it 100%. It's going to be tough, but we're fully prepared to give it our all and do what we do best, really.
It's your job.
It is.
It's good. It's good. Sorry, have you not finished?
That's your latest news and sport. More from me in half an hour.
It's going to be tough. Yeah, that's your job. So just do it. If it's too tough, why don't you go and do another job? Yeah, go and work in Tesco's or something. You think you're up to it? Oh, it's going to be tough. This your job. It's rugby. Just do it. Mentally prepared.
You're very brave when they're in Canberra.
Yeah, I didn't even know what sport it was until he said the word rugby. Now, I want to word with you, Boyle.
Yeah, go on.
What's this I hear about you only working a 2-day week, you're not in for the rest of the week?
Yeah.
Why?
My mother-in-law...
Here we go. Listen to this. I can hear your brain working up an excuse. Go on.
My mother-in-law has gone on holiday.
Oh, so you
Which I think is an outrageous thing to do.
So you have to have some time off.
I'm lumbered with looking after my own children.
Oh, you shouldn't have got pregnant then, should you? It's your
I'm
fault.
not moaning about it. I'm quite pleased.
But you only had some time off a couple of weeks ago.
I'm allowed.
Oh, because you're a woman?
No, because it's my allocation.
Oh, right, sorry about that.
Anyway.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is iainlee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
If only I had the power to play a jingle in the office when she was talking to me and shut her up. If only. Unfortunately, I don't. I can't stop her talking upstairs. That's the problem. 2-day-a-week Catherine went off to look after some kids, so Serena had to step in to read the news. Don't worry, she didn't get off lightly either.
/3 counties.
Now, Serena, how tall are you?
About 5'4".
OK, would you...
160 centimetres, I should say.
No,
let's
don't.
Get metric.
No, let's keep it in old money, please.
We're not in the Philistine area now, are we?
The Philistine area? Area.
Come on.
Area.
Yes, come on then.
Would you go out with a man that was shorter than you?
No, but I've been out with one similar size to me.
What do you mean, what? Similar? Same? Smaller? Taller? What?
I try not to look most of the time, because it's, for a woman you like to feel protected, don't you, to a certain degree.
How can you not look at the man you're going out with?
Well, it's easy sometimes, isn't it? You get distracted, look around and stuff.
Right. Thanks very much, Serena. Unbelievable. She never makes any sense. That's who reads your news. You can ring me any time on The Breakfast Show, 08459 455 555. Between the hours of 6 and 9 in the morning, it's a breakfast show. You can ring to discuss the hot topics we're talking about, or you can go through the papers with me. Dave, can I go off on a slight tangent with you?
Yeah, you always do.
I know. There's a story in the Express I thought you might be interested in.
Oh, yeah, go on.
Counsellor who says he had baby with alien lover defies calls to quit.
Oh, yeah.
A married politician has claimed he fathered a love child during an affair in space with an alien woman called Cat Queen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is a real bloke as well. There's
Hold on. There's a spaceship coming through with E.T. on it. He's waving at me.
Yeah, E.T. phoned home. E.T. phoned Labour councillor Simon Parks, 53. He admitted his wife Jackie was not pleased when he told her about the extraterrestrial baby he had, and he said it was named Zaka.
Oh,
he claims he has sex with the alien This is a counsellor!
Well, all right, carry on.
He says he has sex with the alien 4 times a year. What will happen is, we will hold hands and I will say, I'm ready. Then technology I don't understand will take us up to a craft orbiting the Earth. My wife found out about it, was very unhappy. That caused a few problems, but it's not on a human level, so I don't see it as wrong.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's E.T. going back again now. But the thing is, well, as a lady said yesterday on the radio regarding something else, they should bring back the hanging. But just one other little thing.
Hang on, you want to hang this counsellor just for making love to an alien, Dave? Come on. Listen, love knows no racial or intergalactical boundaries.
But hold on, Ian, just talking about papers, the Daily Express 2 weeks ago said, scientists have said, 2 pints a year of beer can cause you all these cancers.
Oh, blimey.
2 pints a year can cause all these cancers.
So, hang on, we should have... I'm going to tie all these stories up in a nice, neat bundle. So, therefore, we should have a zero tolerance because it means there'll be less accidents on the roads. There will be less chance of people getting cancer, and there'll be less chance of Labour councillors from having it away with women from another planet called the Cat Queen.
And it'll save all these police officers going around stopping all these drink drivers and getting on with dealing with proper crime.
Boom. Last week we did a phone-in about whether cyclists are a menace on the roads.
Ian, Kath told me I could read this thing out later on.
So, who's this?
This is Dennis, the grumpy one.
Dennis from Dunstable?
Yes.
What are you doing? How did you get through onto the... Sorry, what did you say?
I said, Kath said that I could read this out.
No, that's not happening, Dennis. Sorry, she misled you, sorry.
Yes.
Yes, so...
She misread me.
Misled you?
Oh, I thought we said you misread me.
No, I'm trying to link into the piece where Justin and I went out on a tandem.
Yes.
Do you want to hear it?
Yes, I do.
Here it is.
Good morning, I'm Susan. I work for Sight Concern Bedfordshire. This is our tandem bike. There are some social etiquette stuff you need to remember. When you're on the front, you never accuse the person behind of not pedalling. They get really offended, and then they will stop pedalling and you'll notice the difference. You never spit, because it'll blow backwards, OK? And try and make sure you give them warning of the corners, because you need to lean, and the guy at the back will need to lean as well. But apart from that, I think you're going to be fine. Go steady.
Did you all get that?
Yes, we did. Right.
It should be fun.
Mark, come and tell us. First of all, this Sight Concern helps blind people. Why on earth have you got a bike?
Well, the idea, and I've worked here 10 years, I can't believe I didn't think of it before, is that...
Could you stop moving on the back? Yeah, sorry. Give my cigarettes to Kelly.
The whole idea is that the person on the back can be blind, partially sighted, doesn't matter. As long as they can pedal, they can actually get exercise.
You look like a teenager on a grifter.
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
Shall we have a go?
I used to have a grifter.
I used to have a grifter.
Yeah, they're great fun.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Shake on that.
OK, right. Any tips for pulling off? How do you pull off, Mark?
Well, when I did it, I just kind of tried to get up to speed as quickly as possible so that we didn't fall off.
OK, ready?
Countdown.
You ready? OK. You ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. No, you got to pedal.
Pedal at the same time.
Hang on, what's going with the gears?
Hang on. Whoa, pedal. I got it. Go, pedal.
Let's go.
Pedal. Look out, Kelly. We're going to turn left. pedaling. That's it, we're going to go straight. Hey, this is all right. This is quite good. We are cycling through Luton on a bicycle.
In the middle of the road.
In the middle of the road. Well, it would be on the road, Kelly.
Yeah, but in the middle.
And I'm really I don't know what cyclists have got a problem about. I'm enjoying this.
Justin's
this is really
not
good
pedaling.
fun. See if this
I
person
can't
thinks
run
we look cool.
anymore. They've outwheeled me. There's currently 2 grown men riding down the road on a tandem, looking a bit silly. They're about 6'8", and the bike's about, I don't know, quite small. Hi, can you just quickly tell me what you've just witnessed?
I've just seen 2 people on a bike.
2 of them on the same bike?
Yes.
They look a bit silly?
Yes, I do look silly, yeah.
Would you go on a bike like that?
No, I wouldn't.
No. They're muppets.
Justin, you ready?
Yeah,
push,
I'm ready,
push,
boy.
push, push, pedal. Ah! Go, 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 go. Go, mind that car. There we go, this is it. Right, we're going to do a right turn, Clyde. Signal, signal. Do we, as a young lady, do we look cool?
You look... It's the coolest I've ever seen you both look.
Can we pop a wheelie, Justin?
How far are we going to have to do this for?
Well, we'll be going for about 10 minutes now. I'd say another, 5 minutes?
Okay.
I'm doing this all day. Oh, look out! To be honest, to be completely serious about this, I think I can see some of the pressures that cyclists face because a lot of the drivers haven't stopped for us. They haven't given us the respect we deserve. And it can be tough being on a bicycle. You're not pedalling, are you?
He's not! He's not pedalling!
What are you pedalling for?
About 2 minutes.
I tell you what, you can drive it home. I'm off.
This is Iain Lee
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
A survey revealed that a significant number of women wouldn't go out with men if they were tiny. Now, I'm 6'3". I class tiny as anything under 5'8". I spoke to Lisa Moore. She's the owner of an introduction website called Tempting Fate.
Good morning, Iain.
Is your agency, is it online where people can tick a little box of the height?
No, we interview everybody. We do have a website, of course, but then we do interview people before we can take anybody on.
And do you allow short men on your books?
It's not a question of allowing, it's a question of what we have at the time. I mean, most of our females are over 5'7". Although, having said that, we have broken the mould and we have some very short females of 5 foot, etc. So we can take short men on. Short, I would say, would be under 5'7". We've had a couple of men who are 5'5", and we have helped them.
Yeah.
But we have to be careful not to take too many on.
Now, isn't that interesting you say that? Why do you have to be careful about not taking too many short men?
Because I personally wouldn't take somebody's money as a bona fide professional agency if I didn't think I could help them. And the majority of our girls are 5'7" and above, and so they do want usually a man who's up to 6 foot tall. So you're very good if you're just a plus on that.
do women, when they come in and you interview them, do they say, look, no one under 5'8", please?
They usually say they want somebody 6 foot.
Right.
It's not under a certain height. And when I sort of say, well, what about somebody your own height? And then we talk around the issues of, it's not imperative to have somebody taller. And of course, a lot of girls like to wear heels, which makes them even taller.
Some short men, obviously, are very successful with women. I'm thinking, of course, of Tom Cruise and that wee fella off of Fantasy Island. So some are very successful. Is it because Tom Cruise is a multimillionaire actor, or does he have a certain X factor?
I think a lot of it's got to do with who he is. That represents, like Rod Stewart, he's always gone for statuesque blondes, hasn't he? And I think it's who they are, the power of that person, and of course money does have a lot to do with it. It's amazing how that can change somebody's mind.
Short men always feel the need to show off a bit, I find, as well. The short man syndrome, where they have to be a little bit louder and a bit try and appear bigger than they actually are.
Yes, but I mean, the short men that we've helped have been really good, very well dressed. They've come across well, and I've told them, they know very well. They say, well, we know that my height's against me. Will you be able to help me? I don't want to get. Most of them don't want to go out with a girl that's taller than them.
Oh.
So, they, as long as we can find shorter ladies, as I've said, I've got a couple of ladies at the moment who are 5 foot, 5'1", so they're perfect. And they, in turn, don't want to meet a very tall man. So it's all swings and roundabouts, as with all human beings. They're all different.
UFOs. That they have to exist, don't they? They have to exist. It's mathematically, there have to be other life forms out there. Well, Leslie's in Milton Keynes. Good morning, Leslie.
Hello.
Now, Leslie, you work at the airport.
Yes, I do.
So do you see many strange things hovering around?
I've seen two lots. We actually saw something Wednesday night at 21:05 hours.
Hang on a minute. That's 5 minutes past 9.
That's right.
Yeah, we go. OK. What did you see?
My colleague called me upstairs. He was looking out the window because we do various patrols and things. And it was just a big oblong sort of shape, but it was really bright. And we just stood there looking at it. He said, well, that's not a plane, because we see them all the time.
Yeah.
And then both the sides of it just went right in the middle, and it, like you squeezing a squeeze box in, and it vanished. But it stayed there for about 20 seconds.
And did you speak to any other people who saw this?
I asked Maggie the cleaner, because she was up cleaning the offices. She goes, oh, why didn't you shout me?
You should have shouted for Maggie.
Maggie
the cleaner, there's a UFO!
I know.
Come down!
I've seen something 6 years ago as well with the engineers, because I work night shift, you see.
Yeah, go on.
And I was doing another patrol at a different hangar, and me and 3 other engineers, we saw these discs going really quickly over the hangar.
Yeah.
And they couldn't work it out, and one of them been there for 30 years, so it was just really weird.
And did you go and speak to the air traffic control or someone in authority who could verify this?
One of the pilots, he's seen things.
Really?
And I've also spoke to one of the SDOs at the airport who said that, they've seen a couple of strange
What did the
things.
pilot see?
Yeah, a pilot's seen a disc. He was telling us it was flying back from...
What, in the sky?
Yeah.
It wasn't just a disc. All right, it was flying in the sky. OK, so he was flying back to Luton.
He'd seen it ahead of the plane, and it actually vanished so quickly. It's just unreal.
Now, is it true that if pilots report these things, they get taken off for being nut jobs?
No, not always.
No.
I think not so much nowadays.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's taken
I see what you're saying, but no, I mean, as I said, 6 years ago, I saw it with 3 engineers in the car park, and this was about 3 in the morning. But this one we saw was Wednesday.
You didn't get the cleaner involved, Leslie.
I know.
That was your
and we didn't have the phone either on us
Yeah.
at the time, because he called me upstairs quickly. It's like a big balcony to look out the window, and I ran up, and he goes, look at this, what is it? And I said, I don't know. It's about the size of... The length it would have been if you put 3 7.6s together.
Yeah.
Wingspan, it would have been about that size.
Flippin' heck. Leslie, listen, I appreciate that. Didn't get Wendy the cleaner involved, though. You've got to get Wendy the cleaner. Why didn't you call Wendy the cleaner, Leslie? We can speak now to Geoffrey Crockford, who is a biolocator who researches UFOs. What's a biolocator, Geoffrey?
Well, he's somebody who uses the techniques of dowsing, but in a scientific, sort of rational way.
Scientific dowsing.
So we're able to follow stories of UFOs, and the ones that interest us, of course, are where they might have landed.
Ooh. Have you ever seen one, Geoffrey?
I've never seen one.
This is the thing. All these UFO experts never seen one. I've seen one twice.
Ah, yes, but if it landed, then let us know where it landed, and we'll go along and tell you whether a UFO, in fact, did land there.
With your dowsing rods?
We look at the chemical trace. It's the exhaust from the engines.
Yes.
They leave the chemicals in the soil. So all we've got to do is to identify those chemicals in the soil, and we know that the vehicle has landed.
Where do you, whereabouts are you going to look for these landed UFOs?
Well, the one that we've done is at Rendlesham Forest, which is a well-known UFO site.
Yes.
There was an American base there, and the Americans who were on guard on the particular night, this is back in 1980, December, very good account of it, and a group of us went along there, and we actually found the landing site. We found the stains from the engines, we found the chemical stains from the pods, or the feet that it's stood on, and we were able to confirm that in point A, of fact, an unidentified flying object had landed there.
And the chemicals they leave there, what kind of chemicals are they? I'm assuming they're unknown to mankind.
Oh, no, they're well known.
Oh, right, yeah.
Right. The engines are what we call masers. They project a small amount of material at a very high velocity. A jet engine projects a whole mass of material at a low velocity.
Right.
And the chemicals that we look for are beryllium, copper, nitrate, and ammonia. They seem to be characteristic of the engines that they use, and we can look for these, say, at the Rendlesham site. We're hoping to do a site over in Wales in the later summer, and we look at crop circles as well.
Oh no,
And
Jeffrey,
last
no!
year-
Crop circles are fake. It's two blokes with a bit of wood. Everyone knows
That's
that.
right, yeah.
Then why are you looking at them?
Because they leave a chemical trace, we can pick up the traces of their boards and their boots and their ropes. But if you don't find the boards and if you don't find the boots and you find beryllium or copper, ammonia, nitrate, and a nice circle and possibly the titanium from the
couple of
pads
empty
that
bottles of white lightning.
the ship lands on, then you're pretty certain that something has landed there.
So, thank you very much for listening. That's it. That's your lot. Don't forget, if you want to listen to the show live.
What's this? I've just read this contract properly, and it did look a bit scary.
Yes.
But you've written this, haven't you? Well, unless Bobby Davro is the head of the BBC this
Is
week,
that what I signed?
you've written this.
Oh, nuts.
So, if you don't mind, I'll be... Come on.
It's just the thing is, it's my podcast.
Well,
I would
I
like
know.
to do
Oh,
the
what a
links
shame.
on it. You're just news.
It's terrible, isn't it?
Barely that.
Boo-hoo. So that's the end of the podcast. It was all right. Well, honestly, it was all right, wasn't it? It would have been better with, I don't know, more sophisticated voiceover, but there you go. Join us another time, for free.
Thanks for listening to this free download from BBC Three Counties Radio, your local radio station for beds, hearts and bucks, on FM, AM, digital radio, and online at bbc.co.uk/3counties.